Sponsored by the Washington Times, please welcome American Conservative Union Chairman Matt Schlapp, Executive Editor of the Washington Times, Chris Dolan, Opinion Editor of the Washington Times, Charlie Hurt, and President and Partner of McLaughlin Associates, Jim McLaughlin.
Charlie?
Matt?
Jim?
Great to see you, Matt.
By the way, there's only one pollster that always gets things right. It's Jim McLaughlin, okay? So don't worry. We have a very special relationship between CPAC and the Washington Times. I hope you all read the Washington Times and get all their notifications. I always know that when news breaks on the Washington Times, I usually hear about it from a lot more people across the country because I think conservatives know it's the right place to find out what's going on. And I want to thank them for sponsoring this Washington Times CPAC straw poll. And I want to thank Jim McLaughlin and the folks at McLaughlin Associates for making sure that this poll is beyond reproach. And I think you're going to love hearing what's inside it. And so I want to say once again, thank you to the Washington Times for always playing a special role at CPAC. Thank you to Larry Beasley, the president and CEO of the Washington Times. And now I get to bring Chris Dolan here to tell us what the Washington Times is up to and to set up this poll.
All right.
On,
Thank
Chris.
you, Matt. It's a pleasure to be here. Since 1973, CPAC has stoked the flames of conservatism, and for 35 years, the Washington Times has been covering it. We're very proud of covering real news for real Americans, reporting on machinations in Washington for people outside of Washington. We're also proud to furnish a forum for a vigorous debate that helps fuel the conservative movement. About 3 years ago, David Keene, a man I know you're all familiar with, joined the Times as our opinion editor. He immediately brought an intellectual heft and a thoughtful tone to the commentary that runs online and in our paper, as well as a host of columnists, more than I can name, who every day give readers ideas to consider and arguments to make. I'd like to take a minute to thank David for all the work he's done over the last couple years on behalf of the Washington Times. As he prepares to step down, David is leaving us, but he's not getting away. He's going to continue to write a column, and whether he likes it or not, I'm going to be regularly calling on his counsel. Now I know that what we're here for is the poll, and that's what you're waiting for, but I want to take a minute to introduce the person we've chosen to carry on David's work, and that's Charlie Hurt, who's come right off the hunting fields to join us.
Excuse the pants.
I do want to say something about Charlie. Give us a spin. Come on. Show us the pants. Charlie's been killing things.
I was.
And that's in the finest conservative tradition.
Yes, and I thought I was going to have time to change, so excuse the, at least they're not leather chaps. So stop and think about it. Thank you, Chris, first of all, and it's a tremendous honor to pick up where David has left off, and I hope I don't disappoint. But think about it, you know, right now as we sit here, the federal government has never been more powerful. It has never been more involved in more intricate aspects of every aspect of our personal lives. It has never gobbled up more of your money that you make than it does today. And it is at a time when the House of Representatives, which is supposed to be the body, the branch of the body of the branch of government that is supposed to be the closest to us, because of both parties, both Republicans and Democrats, they have surrendered more power than ever in our history. And if there's ever a time when we don't need fake news. We need real news. We need people covering things that actually matter to people, and things that are actually important to the republic. And for 35 years, the Washington Times has been that voice and has done that. And I look forward to another 35 years of the Washington Times doing that. And I look forward to being a part of that. So thank you all very much. Go vote and have your voice heard yet again. And have a great afternoon.
All right, Charlie, thank you. Jim, take it away.
Thank you. And what a great panel. And there's no way I can follow these guys' pants. The jeans. Holy. Last year I wore sneakers.
It's Saturday. Come on. It's Saturday.
Oh, no. You guys are dressed way better than me. Last year I wore sneakers. I got killed on social media. So next year the sneakers are coming back. But it's an honor. I got to tell you, every year I've been coming to CPAC way before I had gray hair. Both Matt and I used to have, dark black hair. This is, I think, the first CPAC was 34 years ago. So, I mean, and every time, when I come here, I get energized. I just love all the young people here, and it's fantastic. And I love doing this poll, because this poll isn't about me. It's not about polls. It's all about you folks. It's about, everything that Matt has created here, and it's about your opinions. And we're just going to give you some of the highlights. Don't worry, another day or two we'll have everything that was in that poll. It'll be all released just like they always do. But here's some of the highlights, and I think you're going to find some of these results really interesting. First things first, would you say, we asked the typical that you see in a lot of the media polls, would you say things in the United States are going in the right direction, or have they gotten off on the wrong track? What this is telling you, it's 44 right direction, 47 wrong track. Now, 2/3 of Americans, when we were going into Election Day, were telling us things were off on the wrong track. And by the way, those numbers with Republicans, it was about 80% were telling you things were off on the wrong track. So this is saying things are getting a little better, but there's still work to be done. And it comes out in your responses here. Do you approve or disapprove of Donald Trump? So I guess the survey was right. 86% approve, only 12% are telling us they disapprove. In many ways, Donald Trump is the conservative movement right now. The conservative movement is Donald Trump. Is President Trump realigning the conservative movement? 80% agree with that. Only 15% tell us they disagree. And what you're going to see, as popular as President Trump is right now, his agenda is even more popular. By the way, it's rare where we get 86% job approval ratings. When we asked folks what the most important issues were, 46%, nearly 1 out of 2 are saying economic issues. 29% are saying national security. 13 are saying social and cultural. And you got another 11 saying honesty and integrity. By the way, it's not that those honesty and ethics issues aren't important. It's they have a lot of confidence in the Trump administration to be able to do what? Drain the swamp. You got it. You got it. Drain the swamp. Then when we asked, as a candidate for president, President Trump made several promises. And we asked what they would most like to see President Trump do. Yet 33% said reforming the tax code. 28% said repealing Obamacare, repealing and replacing Obamacare. And he had 17 saying building the wall. 12% temporarily halting immigration from terrorist countries. And 8% said infrastructure. So you see more than 6 out of 10 are telling us they want the tax code reformed and they want Obamacare reformed. And by the way, that goes back to the most important issue, because conservatives intuitively get it. You lower taxes, cut regulations, we make our health care more affordable, accessible. That creates jobs and gets the economy going again. We said, I love this place. Which of the following comes close to your own personal opinion? Republicans in Congress should be doing more to support President Trump. 2/3 saying that. Like I said, his agenda is extremely popular right now. They want the Republicans in Congress to do more to support him. Do you approve or disapprove of President Trump's appointment of Neil Gorsuch? 94% approve, 83% strongly approve. You don't see 94% numbers. I mean, folks are looking at this and they're saying it's a home run, and I could just listening to you, obviously it's a home run. We asked, would you be more likely or less likely to vote for a candidate for United States Senate who opposed the nomination of Neil Gorsuch? It would make our folks very upset. 86% said they'd be less likely. And what I thought was even more interesting, 75% want them to do the filibuster, end the filibuster, and do the nuclear option.
Hey, Jim, don't you think that also applies to these Republican senators who aren't supporting our cabinet nominees as well?
No, that's a great point. No question about it. When you see a president with an 86% job approval, and again, 86%, you don't see those kinds of numbers, and then his issue agenda is even more supportive, they love his cabinet picks. And we're seeing it. And they want those senators to support his cabinet picks. What the president is proposing on cutting off funds to sanctuary cities, 91% favorite. And there's a lot of intensity there. 79% strongly support that. Yep. You know what? Sometimes I think they're beyond help. And on the president's executive order temporarily halting citizens from 7 Middle Eastern countries from entering the United States, 81% approve, 18% disapprove. You know, it's interesting because I think, again, you see the out-of-touch nature of the elites in the establishment versus the grassroots. And it's like I always say, CPAC is the ultimate when it comes to grassroots. And last but not least, maybe my favorite question, do you approve or disapprove of President Trump using Twitter to communicate more? 70% approve, 28% disapprove. Why? That's how he gets around the dishonest media, everybody but the Washington Times. So, thank you. And as always, it's been a pleasure. And by the way, we had a ton of respondents to the survey. And thank you for your participation. Keep up the fight.
Thank you, Jim. That was great. So, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
So when you see Charlie Hurd on television, which I know you see him all the time, and you notice they never show pants on television, so he gets away with it a lot more. But when you hear...
I'm usually not wearing pants on television.
Oh, TMI. When you think about what many people in the press are driving, which is this idea that you have the conservative movement at a moment of conflict and all this division, and we don't know what we think, and we're so distrustful of the White House, get them Jim's poll. Okay, get them the CPAC straw poll, because what this shows is this: Donald Trump is actually doing the things that the conservative movement wants to get done. And we all felt very respected by the fact that he came to CPAC in his very first year in office, in the first 30 days. And these results will be on all of our websites immediately, so let's get it out to everybody who's driving that message, because it's not right. Thank you all very much.
Great job.
Go ahead.